everybody, Sean from Movie Assault here, and it's time once again for another entry into the Halloween 15 for 2025. This is episode 13 of the 15, and we are going to take a look at Clown in a Cornfield from 2025. This is a Shudder original, I believe. It does have the Shudder logo on the Blu-ray, and it was directed by Eli Craig, who is responsible for Tucker and Dale versus Evil. It was written by Carter Blanchard and Eli Craig, and it's based on the book by Adam Cesar. And I didn't even know this was based on a book series until the movie was over, and I saw that in the credits as they were rolling. Apparently there are 3 books in the series so far, with the last one coming out in 2024, as far as I know. I thought it was interesting because that kind of explains a lot about this movie in hindsight, because it seemed like it was geared towards a younger audience, and the Clown in a Cornfield books, I guess, are young adult books, which was really weird because this is a rated R film. But there's a scene towards the beginning where the main characters, Quinn and her dad, are driving in a car, and they're listening to Eric B. and Rakim from the 80s, and the dad is absolutely getting into it, and you can tell he picked the music. And Quinn says, "Can we stop listening to 80s rap now? Do you realize that the 80s are as far from today as the 40s were from the 80s? And the dad is like, "What? Are you kidding?" So that scene made me wonder if that is sort of a callback to maybe this is a certain type of movie that is trying to say, hey, you know what? Let's put a break on talking about Halloween and Friday the 13th and My Bloody Valentine and all the slashers of the 80s. I don't know why I picked My Bloody Valentine. Who talks about that very often? But, you know, let's stop talking about the 80s slashers, and let's talk about a slasher from today. Let's make a slasher that deals with today's kids, today's troubles, today's times, and maybe this will be it. And I don't know if that's true. I didn't read that anywhere. It's my own theory. But if this is going to be the springboard for a new slasher movement, I'm okay with that. It's a fun movie. The plot focuses on Quinn, who is played by Katie Douglas, and her dad, who's played by Aaron Abrams. And they've moved to Kettle Springs, Missouri from Philadelphia. Quinn's dad is a doctor, and Quinn's mom recently passed away. Obviously, it's her dad's wife. Just recently passed away, and I guess to escape, they moved to Kettle Springs, Missouri, and they have an opening for a family doctor. And Kettle Springs, Missouri is kind of undergoing an economic upheaval because the main employer of the town, which was the Bay Pen Maple Syrup Company, or I'm sorry, Bay Pen Corn Syrup Company, recently burned down. And Quinn finds herself getting involved with the wrong crowd, this group of teenagers led by Cole, played by Carson McCormick. And they spend their time making internet prank videos, and they make a series of videos where they take the Bay Pen corn syrup mascot, Friendo the Clown, make him into this homicidal maniac and make him kill people. And the older locals think they don't respect the town's heritage or, you know, the town's history. And there's sort of this us against them mentality where the young people are fighting against the older people in the town, where the young people want to break free of the old ways and the older people want to just, you know, have sort of the status quo go on forever or whatever. So as the town is having this Founders Day, because they're very involved with their heritage and their history. So this Founders Day is coming up, and these festivities are starting to pop up all over town. And as that happens, there also seems to be these incidents of Friendo the Clown actually being a homicidal maniac and killing people. But instead of being one of their internet prank videos or, you know, these stage things that the kids are doing, the kids are actually the target of the real homicidal maniac. And that's the plot of the film. I won't say any more than that. But Clown in a Cornfield is it worthy of being a tentpole for, a new generation of slasher fans? I don't know. Maybe. It's not for me to judge. I'm not really the target audience for this. This is definitely geared towards a Gen Z, Gen A, maybe. I don't even know what the current gen is anymore. I'm definitely I'm the age, or the audience of this, I think, is the age that I was when I was watching Halloween and Friday the 13th, when I shouldn't have been. And I think that's what this movie is kind of shooting for, trying to reinvigorate maybe the audience that should be watching these movies when they shouldn't be, if that makes any sense. I like the fact that it has a lot of gore. It has a lot of the same tropes as all the classic slashers, but it does have some new twists of its own. It does do things a little bit differently, and it wasn't as predictable as I thought it might be. And I like that it didn't take itself too seriously. There's a lot of great dialogue in here. The performances are okay. The cast is really good for what they're asked to do. Will Sasso is in this. He plays Sheriff Dunn, and Kevin Durand is in this. He plays Arthur Hill. They're having a great time. They seem to be having a lot of fun. They have the most fun of anybody in this movie. And Katie Douglas, who plays Quinn, you kind of know she's going to be the final girl, and she makes kind of a good final girl, I think. So I don't know if she'll be in the next one, because I'm sure there'll be a sequel, since there's a second and third book. But I don't know. I kind of like this, but I realize it's not for me. So I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10, but that's not to condemn it and say it's bad. It's just, it's not made for my audience. And it's adults back in the 80s didn't think Halloween and Friday the 13th were that great of movies either. So I don't know. I just don't think this is not for me, but I respect it for what it is. So I enjoyed it, but for me, it's not a classic, but it's definitely not targeting me. So give it a shot if you're of the younger generation. Gen X, probably not your movie. Gen Z, maybe. Gen A, whatever the hell that means. Give it a shot. And you're probably not watching this channel, so my review is probably falling on deaf ears. So if you have kids that you want to introduce to an actual gory slasher movie, give it a shot with your kids. Watch it with your kids, and talk to them afterwards, and then tuck them in afterwards. I don't know, but I give it a 6 out of 10. So that's my review of Clown in a Cornfield from Shudder, and yeah, that's all I have to say about that. As always, thank you for sticking around to the end of the video. I appreciate your attention span. Episodes 14 and 15 are coming. Like I said, there will be a little bit of a delay somewhere between now and the end of the month. Episode 15 will be on Halloween. Episode 14 will be somewhere between now and then. And yeah, so I'll see you then. 2 more movies to go. Take it easy.